All right, let's jump right in. Think about it. Every single day, we're all living and working inside these enormous digital structures. Our data, our companies, pretty much our entire modern lives are built on information systems. And just like any other valuable structure, they have to be both built the right way and defended constantly. So today, we're going to talk about how to build and defend your very own digital fortress.
So let me start by asking you something that really gets to the heart of it all. How secure is your information, really? It's easy to think everything's fine, but as you're about to see, the threats are often way closer than you'd imagine.
I mean, come on, we've all gotten an email that looks just like this, right? That urgent, scary subject line, the generic Dear User, and of course that really suspicious looking link. It's a classic phishing scam, and it proves a super important point. The front line of this whole cybersecurity battle, it isn't in some far-off server room. It's right there in your own inbox. And that phishing email, it perfectly captures the core problem we're facing. The honest truth is, our systems are all, in one way or another, vulnerable. Okay, so what do we even mean when we say vulnerability? To put it really simply, it's any weakness that a threat can take advantage of. It's basically a crack in the wall of our fortress. So where are these cracks coming from? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a whole mix of stuff. Think back to that phishing email. That's a perfect example of human error. Then you've got software bugs, little hidden flaws in the code. Our systems are also just so incredibly complex these days, and all that complexity creates hiding spots for problems. Plus, every single new device we connect, a phone, a smartwatch, is a brand new door for an attacker. It really is a combination of people, processes, and technology. And here's another classic example we've probably all done. You're at the airport, you're bored, you see that free Wi-Fi network, and you connect. But have you ever stopped to think who else is on that open network with you? It's like leaving your front door wide open in a crowded street. Yeah, it's convenient, for sure. But that convenience often comes with a huge hidden risk. All right, so we know the weaknesses exist. The walls have cracks. But who's on the other side actively trying to get in? Let's take a look inside the attacker's toolbox. Two of the big ones you hear about are viruses and worms, and it's really important to know the difference. The easiest way to think about it is that a virus is like a parasite. It has to latch onto a host, like a file, to spread. A worm, on the other hand, is independent. It can crawl through a network all by itself, which, as you can imagine, makes it incredibly dangerous. Then you've got the master of disguise, the Trojan horse. This thing is all about deception. It shows up looking like something you actually want, a free game, a useful little app, but in the background, it's doing something really nasty. The famous Zeus Trojan, for example, would just sit there and record everything you typed to steal your online banking info. It's the perfect attack, just hiding in plain sight. And that brings us to maybe one of the scariest modern threats, ransomware. Honestly, this is just digital blackmail, plain and simple. It takes your own data and uses it as a weapon against you, locking up all your files and demanding you pay up to get them back. It's a brutal attack that can shut a person or a whole company down completely. So, who are the people behind all of this? We tend to just call everyone a hacker, but it helps to be a bit more specific. The term cracker is for a hacker who has actual criminal intent. See, not all hacking is malicious, but crackers? Yeah, they're the ones we're building our fortress against. Okay, I know that was a lot of doom and gloom. We get it. There are threats, and we have weaknesses. So now for the billion-dollar question. How in the world do we fight back? This is where the story shifts. We're going to stop being on the defensive and start building. It is time to construct that digital fortress. And like any strong building, it all starts with a rock-solid foundation. Okay, I know this slide might look a little complicated, but the idea behind it is actually really simple. Think of it as a before and after. On the left, that's the old, chaotic way of doing things. Imagine every department, accounting, HR, sales, all keeping their own separate, messy files. It's an absolute nightmare. On the right is the solution, a centralized database management system, or DBMS. This is the foundation of our fortress, where all the important data lives together in one secure, organized place. So why is this so much better? Well, it solves some huge problems. It gets rid of tons of duplicate, conflicting data. It lets you manage all your security and access from one single spot. It makes sharing information across the company a total breeze. And, believe it or not, it actually lowers costs in the long run. This is the bedrock you build everything else on. So, the foundation is poured. Now it's time to put up the walls and postcards at the gates.
In the digital world, we call these things security controls. Now, the most crucial thing to understand here is that defense is all about layers. It's not just one thing. It starts with security policies. That's basically the official rulebook. Then you have your firewall, which acts like the main gatekeeper to your whole network. Your antivirus software, those are like the sentries on the wall, always on the lookout for known enemies. And finally, you've got identity management, which is the keymaster, making absolutely sure that only the right people have the keys to get through the right doors. But, defending a fortress is really only half the battle. The absolute best defense is a fortress that was designed to be strong from the very beginning. For that, we need good blueprints. And here is that blueprint. Building a major information system isn't something you do randomly. You follow a structured, repeatable approach called systems development. The whole idea is to be methodical so that what you end up building is strong, secure, and actually, useful. Let's just quickly walk through how this works. There are 6 main activities. You start with analysis. What problem are we actually trying to solve? Then you move to design. What's the blueprint for the solution going to look like? Then you get to programming, where you actually write the code. After that comes super rigorous testing to make sure it works. Then comes conversion, which is that tricky process of switching from the old to the new. And finally, you land on production and maintenance, because a fortress always needs upkeep. Now, there isn't just one blueprint. As you can see, there are different approaches. The traditional method, called waterfall, is super rigid and step-by-step. Prototyping, though, is way more iterative. You build a quick, rough version, get feedback, and then refine it again and again. It's a lot faster and more flexible, which is really great when you're not 100% sure what the final product needs to look like from the very start. Okay, we've covered the threats, we've covered the defenses, and we've covered the blueprints. But let's bring this all home. Why does any of this really matter? What's the actual tangible value of security? And this is maybe the biggest takeaway of all. Security isn't just an expense, it's a strategic investment. The benefits are about so much more than just stopping attacks. Strong security protects your single most valuable asset, your data. It keeps you out of legal hot water. It prevents incredibly expensive breaches. It boosts productivity, and it makes sure your critical information is there when you need it most. That is a massive return on investment. So we've designed our fortress. It has strong foundations, high walls, and really smart defenses. But everything, all of it, comes down to one final critical question. Who's guarding the keys? Technology and policies are absolutely essential. But in the end, security is a human responsibility. It's on all of us.